progress about how people, living your life's purpose and what does that mean? And I read, because I was doing some research, how people in the United States, only 20%, only 20% of people actually love what they do. Only 20%. So that means that 80% of people either really dislike what they do or they're merely satisfied. So whatever, this is a job, I guess, whatever, or they can't stand it. Only 20%. And so I'm like, no, I can't hear that stuff. Obviously, as a coach, my passion is to transform my clients' lives, right? For them to start living their life's purpose and create a career and a life that they actually love, to wake up in the morning and actually be excited about what they do, as opposed to dread the morning, as opposed to hearing the alarm go off and, just be like, why me? I don't want to go to work. That's something that I don't want to hear. I want to hear people getting excited, waking up at whatever time they want to wake up, being excited for the day, being in charge of their day, being in charge of their schedule, of everything that they want to do. And so that's where I come in. That's why I am so passionate about this subject, and I write articles about it, and I lead, workshops, and I lead life programs, because this is my thing, right? Because I absolutely know 100% that anybody can do this. And I've been a coach for almost 15 years, and I've seen time and time again my clients create the most magical, extraordinary lives and careers. And it makes me so happy and so proud, and just to see them actually do what they're meant to do and what they love to do. So that's why I'm so passionate, because I feel like I want to, get as many people on board with this that I possibly can. So what is it that you love to do as a kid? That's one of the clues. And then here are some questions that I love to ask. And as cliche as they sound, trust me, they're good questions if you really take your time to think about it. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? So of course, everybody starts off by saying, well, I would pay for a big mansion, and I would travel all over the world, and I would get a Ferrari, whatever. I would pay all my debt. And yes, that's all sounds like fun. But after a while, you would get bored. After all that is said and done, you've done everything, you've experienced everything, what's next? So what is it that you would love to fill your days with? What is it that you would just be so excited to be doing every single day? You have all the money, so money's not a worry. You've experienced everything that there is to experience. What's next? What is it that you would love to do? I love that question, because, a lot of people get stuck on the money. That's where they get stuck. It's like, well, I would love to do this, but it's unrealistic because I won't be able to make the money that I need to make. And I definitely don't believe that. What energizes you? What excites you? What do you do that you don't even realize time just flies by? What is it that you bring up in conversation constantly? So if you're like at a cocktail party or any party, and people are talking, and you're like, I really want to talk about, what is it? You better bet that I'm always talking about Sicily and living your life's purpose and coaching and teaching and personal development and the latest book that I've read. That's what I love to talk about, right? So what is it that you love to talk about? And again, what is it that gets you excited to think about it? One of my mentors, Dr. John DeMartini, talks about he talks about what is it that you love to fill your space with, right? So like your space at home, in the office, what is it filled with? What objects, what pictures? What does your house look like? What does it feel like? These are all clues on things that we love and that we love to talk about, experience, and do. So it's time to pay attention. And here's a question that I get all the time. What if there are several things that you love to do? In my opinion, you should explore, and then explore some more, definitely. you should try it all out. Why not? Right. Um, but I would say my recommendation to my clients is always try one thing at a time as opposed to 20 things at once, because then your energy is all over the place as opposed to giving your energy, your all to one thing. And then once you succeed at that, or once you realize, I really love to do this, I really want to pursue this, or whatever, once you get that down, then you can move on to the next. But when your energy is all over the place, you're not, you're doing a million things, but you're not doing anything necessarily well, right? I mean, like you're not giving your all to one thing. I mean, who would have said? I mean, if you look at my life and my career, um, by there's a lot of things that I do. I write, I speak, I lead workshops, I coach private clients, I lead tours here in Sicily, but I did one thing at a time. I didn't do 20 things at once. There was a time where I was trying to do too much at once. Actually, that's not true. And I did realize that that wasn't going to work. I had to focus on one thing at a time. And so even the way my business is currently structured, in the summer is when I focus on my Sicily tours, and then come fall and winter is when I start, doing my coaching again. So again, yes, explore, explore, explore. That way you could see what you really love to do, what maybe you thought you'd like to do, but not so much. But definitely give one project at a time all your attention. What if it seems impossible? Well, this is a question my clients give me all the time, because the universe will test you. I've never, at least in my experience, I have never met anybody, whether a colleague, a mentor, a client, a friend, who started on, pursuing their life's purpose, and everything just flowed and was perfect and magical, no issues. And suddenly they were super successful and made tons of money, and everything was just perfect. The universe will test you. That I'm sure of, um, and I feel like the universe is almost saying, how bad do you want it? Like, do you want this really bad or kind of bad? Or are you going to give up at the first sign of, something, a struggle, something that is difficult? And, if anybody knows about that, that's me. I always tell my clients, I'm always very transparent, that there were many years where it was difficult. I was literally going like this. It's like up and down with my business. And there were months where I wasn't making any money. And it was very, very difficult for me. And, but I knew this was my purpose. I knew this is what I love to do. And I kept at it. And I just kept at it. And I just kept at it. And I didn't give up. And there was no, well, plan B. I'm just going to go get a job, whatever, doing whatever. This is what I wanted to do. And I just worked until I figured it out, until it suddenly clicked. And I always tell my clients that, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden you get to a place and that's it. It's like perfect from then on. I feel like as an entrepreneur, there's always going to be times where it's going to be a little bit challenging, and then times where it's going to be easier. But the secret is to not give up, to never, never, never give up. So I always say, how bad do you want it? What if you lack self-confidence? Okay, so I always tell my clients, listen, everybody lacks self-confidence. Everybody does at something, right? Everyone does. And those who pretend they're super, super confident at everything, I mean, I don't buy it, right? Some of us are just better at certain things than others, right? And to me, what gives you confidence is not having the confidence and doing it anyway. That's what gives you the confidence. When you're unsure, when you're nervous, when you're like, can I do this? Should I do this? Should I start? And you just do it. That's going to give you confidence. You're going to feel so good that you just did it and then you just started. I mean, I know so many people who really wanted to pursue, wanted to create a holistic business. And they were too scared. They were too scared to do it. Because they felt like they weren't ready, right? They had to get a degree, get an extra degree, right? I only have a bachelor's, I need a master's. I only have a master's, I need a doctorate. I only have a doctorate, I need 10 doctorates. I need to take some courses. I need to, I always make this joke, I need to go, pray and study and meditate with that guru up in the Himalayas. Those are all excuses, right? And I always say, that doesn't mean don't learn and constantly grow and become a better whatever it is that you're doing, either a coach, a healer, holistic practitioner, speaker, writer. No, I am constantly, every single day, listening to podcasts, listening to videos, watching videos, reading constantly. I've always had mentors, business coaches, always. So I'm always growing. I want to be a better human being and I want to be a better coach. But that didn't stop me. It didn't stop me from starting. You just start. Like people say, how do you start? You just start. And that's why I love to do what I do, because my signature program is Live Your Life's Purpose, How to Start a Successful Holistic Practice, which is coming up in November, and I can't wait, where I do take a group of beautiful souls where they have these questions like, what is my purpose? Or if they know what their purpose is, they have no idea how to even start. And here's the clue: you just start. You just start. I know so many people who are still waiting to start, and it breaks my heart. I see them on Facebook, and they want to have a success. They know what their purpose is. They want to have a successful business, but they don't even know how to start. So they don't start. So they just do other things. And I'm like, no, please come talk to me. I'm always like frustrated. Come talk to me. I want you to start, because you just, that's the secret, is to just start. And you get experience by actually doing it, right? You could read as much as you want. You can listen to as many videos, podcasts, but if you're not actually doing the work, I mean, what made me a really effective and good coach was being a coach, like being a coach, actually doing the work, coaching clients consistently, doing business groups, doing one-on-one coaching. That's what made the difference for me. That's what gave me my confidence. I just started doing it, and the rest is history. So that's it. You just got to start. But if you lack self-confidence, we all lack self-confidence at something, right? So here's a couple more. What if you hate your current job? So I always believe in reframe. I believe in being grateful for what you have, instead of doing your best to not complain about your life, and instead being grateful and appreciating what is at the present moment, right? I don't know why, but I used to be more bold and would recommend, well, it's okay, just trust and throw yourself and just go ahead. And now I'm like, why would I tell people to get so stressed out? Why would I throw them like in the lion's den? Now I'm more about bless where you currently are, and every single day, if you're committed, work on your purpose. If you know what it is, work on it every single day, even 15 minutes, even 30 minutes, my goodness, an hour. Imagine where you will be in a few months. And until you start making the money where you can feel comfortable leaving your job, then you leave your job. And I've done that for so many of my clients. This is the process that we go through. And it just feels better, because they're not as nervous, as anxious. They don't look at clients with dollar signs like, oh my God, I'm desperate to pay my rent. Are you going to be my client? Are you going to be my client? They come from a place of, this is what I love to do. I have a job that is currently paying all the bills. And so this is what I'm doing because I love to do this. And until I start building, clientele and feel good about it, then I can go and start the next chapter of my life. So be grateful for what you do have. Start appreciating the things that you like at work. For example, maybe you like your boss. Maybe that's a joke. I don't know. Maybe I've had some really nice bosses in the past. Maybe you like your coworkers. Maybe you like where you work. Or maybe you just like the fact that it pays the bills, right? So whatever it is, appreciate it and just be grateful and focus on that. Give 200% of yourself at this job and know that this is just temporary until you start living your life's purpose and you start doing what you love to do and get handsomely paid. So there's so much more that I could say. I have literally pages and pages. The last workshop that I did was an hour and a half, and this is just a preview for my upcoming 4-week life program, which is, again, live your life's purpose and start a successful holistic business. So this is for anybody who right now is struggling because they want to have a successful business. A lot of people see me, I get these interesting messages. A lot of people see me and they're like, God, you seem like you have it so together and everything's so perfect and everything was so easy for you career-wise. And I'm like, what? Is that the image that I have? No, not at all. This is what I love to teach because it was so rough, right? In the past, it was so rough. I mean, I became a life coach when nobody even knew what a life coach was. And so I have a very interesting, I've had a very interesting career. And so I have a lot of expertise, and I love to help people figure out their purpose, like get very crystal clear, right? Because a lot of people are very vague, like I am a healer. And it's like, okay, there's like 10 billion healers. What does that mean to you? Who specifically do you want to work with? Or I'm a coach or whatever it is. I'm a writer. I like to get very specific, figure out a niche. What is it exactly that they love? What is exactly their passion? And then baby steps on how to create an extraordinary career that's actually going to pay you handsomely and not just going to be a hobby, right? Because, one thing is having a hobby that doesn't pay, and then you're going to be stuck at that job that we were just talking about forever and ever and ever and ever. And one thing is that job is temporary until you actually start making really good money by doing what you love. And if it sounds impossible, if it sounds unrealistic, it's not. It truly is not. You absolutely can love what you do every single day, and I'm proof of it. And I love to help my clients go through a step-by-step process and start doing what they love and get handsomely paid for it. So I'm going to post under this the article that I wrote, which pretty much summarizes the workshop that I did last week. And then if you have any questions, you can private message me about the upcoming, course in November. It starts November 7th. And again, it's 4 weeks live with me every single Sunday. We're going to I love my life programs because they're so fun. I always attract a really amazing group of people, and it's always intimate. I don't do the really large groups. That's not something that I love. I love the very intimate groups. So I love to create a sacred space and have fun. If you know me, I'm very silly, and I like to make it, fun, and we laugh a lot, but also something that's actually going to be transformative and help you and give you amazing resources even after the course is done. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to private message me. And thank you. Again, this was the mini version, but I hope it was helpful nonetheless. I will probably do some more lives in the next few weeks, giving other little pearls of wisdom. But anyway, ciao from beautiful Sicily. It's way past my bedtime, but I really wanted to do this. So